we've covered all the angles, but there is one angle I want to look at, and that is as it concerns the wider society, right? And we are not doing enough as a society to discourage things like this, and that is the truth. As a society, we are not doing enough. We could be doing enough. We could be doing something individually, but individualism never builds a community. It's always going to be that communal thing. Why do I say this? I'll give an example with the media. Sometimes you stay back and you see some narrative also in today's media that also supports this kind of a thing. Yeah. There was this place I was with some people, and something happened, and I was the only person in the media. I was the only person in that sitting who was in the media. And they said that one of the problems is also the media. I didn't quite get the angle. I said, no, I disagree. We are doing enough. And they said, yeah, you guys do enough in the morning, and then in the evening you do something differently. Meaning the media is not consistent. On the one hand, the Nigerian media has done a wonderful job. We try to, like what we are doing now. With what we are doing now. Enlightening people about this, hard work and all of that. But he said that it's also in the media that lightens down our morals. For instance, you get to hear, I'll just give a blunt example. Let's say you find some questions being asked, whether, I'll give an example, that kind of question, saying, if I give you 100 million naira and tell you not to see your mother again, will you take 100 million naira with you? By setting, one of the function of the media is to set agenda. Is to make people start thinking. All right. So by making people start thinking about this,
choosing mother and
choose between your mother and your family. There was one that trended recently. It was on social media. And they would say, between if I give you this amount of money and tell you not to, and somebody answered, the person said, I will collect the money. I will give them, he mentioned like maybe 20% of it. He just mentioned an amount, and that amount was like maybe less than 20% of that big amount. That if I give them too, as we will ourselves bye-bye forever. You see things like that. When we were growing up, we didn't hear it.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, when we were being formed, we never heard anything like that. I never heard that it was possible that, a child and the parent, a child and the brothers,
but these days,
you see this younger generation now. The younger generation and the parents who are raising them have so dropped the standards as to what decency should be. And it's a problem. And the media, like they said, the media supports it. Now, somebody gave an example about what this mother might want and in the community, and it's a title that is given by the church. All right? It's not about that was given by the church. And the church also gives title to mothers whose children's source of wealth are not known. So why would anybody, if I can get the accolade for something, why will I work for it? Just like the Nigerian story, people will say, if a governor can just go to Abuja and get 1 trillion, why will he want to spend time in his state trying to think about, set up an economic team, and they start thinking about what do we do for businesses to thrive so we can get tax? Why will he think about it when he knows at the end of the month, even if he sleeps, he's sleeping in a hotel all through? So all these ones, that is also the same thing that has happened. So all of the perks that people will get, before the church recognizes you, you'll be an upright person. Before you are celebrated in your community. When I was growing up
here, we saw those things.
Before you are celebrated in your community, before a man is given a traditional title. See, look, before somebody is given a traditional title, you will talk about what that person has done. So the kind of people who we are honored in our communities before now, right? You see what happened in Rivers State recently, where they gave the footballer Nwabali.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, those were the only kind of people that were honored, and you knew them, right? But today, somebody comes into any of our, any of our communities, comes in with wealth that clearly does not tally, does not tally with the age and what the person has put in, the person is being celebrated. Recent time, look at our society, the general society too. I'm not going to call his name, but recently, a top banker died, and a lot of conversations started coming up in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And a lot of conversations started coming up, and the simple question people have asked, people who know them, right, have asked is, okay, you guys are celebrating this person and this person and this person. Where is his industry? So no matter what you say about Dangote, no matter what you say about him, at least we say he's producing cement, he's producing sugar, he has built a refinery. People will say, where did he get the money? That's on that conversation, because we don't know here. We can just speculate. But at least we can see a factory, we can see trucks, we can see people employed. So you're telling us he's the richest man. We say, okay. And then you say, what have they produced? What have they produced? Somebody who is not producing anything, how are they generating multi-billions? How are they setting up all these foundations across the world?
Mansions.
How are they doing it? How are they building these things? How are they having private jets? What have they built? They've not built anything. So in a society like that, what do you want to tell these younger ones? So we have also not done enough. How are people like this honored in church? How are people like this honored in the media? How are musicians singing? Musicians have always sang about people all their life. So let me not talk about
It's their profession.
It's their profession. Yes, it's their profession. So that is the thing. How are they honored in the communities? How do they receive the highest title in our communities? How do they receive the highest title? So if we have not, we need to start dealing with that. If we deal with that problem, it now becomes easy for us to tell those little ones that, no, don't you want to be like this man? Don't you want to be like this man? But
if he
yes,
exactly.
But take your child to church today. 2024. Take your child to church, and then there is a fundraising in the church. So the whole people who we are going to honor, who youths, the youth group are going to invite and give them an award. And the women organization are going to honor and wear their wrapper and come out and give their and you can't. Sometimes some of them you can. It's not a general thing. But we are having a higher number of people who fall into this category that are being honored, that you can't tell your child, I want you to grow up and be like this. And that is where the main problem lies.
Mapus.
Yeah, like our friend would say. That's where the main problem, Mapus.